How's it going, hat aficionados? It's Type QQ. It's Touhou 16. Hidden something of the someplace. Not a very good run here. And primarily, I think I may have skipped through it the first time. But one thing I've noticed, maybe purely an accident, and maybe I'm a little too late to notice this as well, is that not only can you pick your character, you can kind of pick that sort of sub-weapon, which is kind of common with each character. So, for example, you can play as this character, but kind of have a touch of the other character's abilities as well. We had 1cc easy mode with this character using Cherno's sub-weapon stuff, and kind of abilities with her release. This one, I was figuring, hey, let's just try the sort of default Reimu stuff. And it's good and it's bad, or rather, like, there's some parts of I like and some parts I don't like. And I think it does kind of cause this video to be a bit shorter than usual. One thing I've noticed is that, she certainly does kill enemies a lot easier than I think picking up the sub-weapon from Cherno. However, the release that Cherno has, I think, is a lot better than Reimu's by default. However, I would imagine that's up for debate, depending on how comfortable you feel with things. Cherno's you can spam like you wouldn't believe, and that's probably primarily why I was able to beat the game rather easily. Now, Reimu's the character that we're playing right now. Reimu's. The character we're playing right now is Reimu. Fuck, man. What her ability does is she still can release like everyone else. Double entendre, context, right? However, the orb that she sends out is certainly a lot larger, especially with higher levels. However, you expend your entire, right here, is a very large one, but we used all 5 gauges at once. So if you want to use that sort of, release type of survival rate, can't really do it. Like we saw there though, you can use the release and then immediately, the leaves that you make from that release on a good, wave of enemy bullets, you can turn right into making a level 1. However, that level 1 isn't going to necessarily make another level 1. Kind of what, like, I feel Cherno's does, is that, they don't go very large. However, you can kind of spam them as much as you like. However, if you're talking about huge jumps in points, check out the points that we have already. This release, I think, is definitely the sort of, like, Suicide King release, where you can kind of, like, pick up all the bullets on the screen, but, you're expelling your entire gauge, and, but getting a really insane point multiplier as it is, or, rather quick. And some would say, like, hey, that's makes it far better than anyone else's, and I would say, yeah, probably depending on your level of skill. And I kind of have to correct myself with saying, Reimu's isn't as good as Cherno's. I think that's probably just a personal opinion or personal preference at this point. I could definitely see why, or why and how you would certainly want to jump in, points, and really just rely on one release for just those desperate times. You wouldn't necessarily need. If you come to the point where you don't necessarily need to worry about dodging too much, and you know exactly when to use your release on these big bullet patterns, you may not want anything besides, Reimu's just giant, give me all the bullets weapon, And I understand that. That's probably just not where I'm at in this game quite yet. So that's kind of why this video goes short. That's why we get an early death, and that's why when things, we look good, here. Although I think we take an early death rather stupidly sometime soon. It does, but who knows? And that's why when things get tough, we fall off the truck rather easily. And it does seem that her release gauge does feel rather slow, or slow in comparison to other characters. Granted, we've only played another character seriously, so that might not be an accurate observation, but I certainly felt it in this run, where I was certain points going, Jesus Christ, hurry up! I need this, before I get killed. So that was pretty tough, going to lose all those points, but used the release there. Maybe improperly, to be completely honest, but gotta get those points. Sitting right underneath our second extends already, if you believe it. And there it is. Pretty asinine and pretty shitty dodge right there. But sometimes I feel like if you're looking up at the health bar, looking down at the release, your eyes are moving way too much than it needs to be for this game. Granted, the release does have an audio cue, and sometimes you just have no business looking at the boss's health anyway. Who cares, But where everything is kind of like on each ends of the screen, sometimes you aren't focused properly. You're going to take some really shitty damage you otherwise shouldn't be taking. So sadly, we take a hit and gain and extends back. That's kind of, I suppose that's okay, but really not something you should be doing, considering if you're thinking about 1C seeing this game. But, it's another, that's just protocol. Same, that's just standard operating procedure at this point. I don't think it's, surprising anyone, I think there are certainly certain games that you have to consider. Okay, I'm starting out with 2 lives, but by the end of this game I have 6 lives, and I need to, I'm going to be using all 6 lives, that sort of thing, or I'm going to need them. So it's not necessarily, rewarding yourself by getting an extends and immediately losing it. It's you're going to need every freebie you can get. Yeah, we nearly have our point modifier 1.6%, higher than than they normally are, which is rather large. I don't recall seeing the point multiplier that high for other characters, but there it is right there. So we're just close to our third extent. You can kind of see why. I really had to correct myself and say, listen, okay, Raymond probably does have an excellent release. It doesn't really fit my playstyle right now. Hint, hint, because I'm garbage, right? Damn, look at that. Up to 18 already. Almost doubling. 1.8 over default starting points for each blue pickup, and damn near double. So we got that extends through our points, and we're already 23 mil towards our 40 mil, excuse me. However, in no other run did I have so much trouble with this boss than I did right now. I couldn't tell you why. Maybe it is because I have to pick and choose when I can extend. Excuse me, not extend, to use my release, and I just don't have the quantity of releases that I usually provide this fight to be a lot easier. However, it's not like I've done normal mode too often to kind of get a better idea of what to expect on this difficulty. But yeah, there it is. It's certainly a bad feeling going, why am I having so much difficulty with this boss? I should not be having this much difficulty. I don't recall having this type of difficulty. So it was, it's one of those things like, what the fuck's going on here? Oh, but here's that. that attack, I could not tell you why that. Yeah, it had to, right? I wonder if I'm just standing in the wrong place every time, or if that attack does have a form of like homing, kind of, I'm not sure, but it certainly feels like it as I can't complete that sentence without falling apart at the seams. I mean, we are now pulling twice the number of bonus points, but we are dying quite twice as fast. Jeez, I can't even speak. Yeah, we're 2.1 times over our default point modifier, but yeah, dying twice as quick. So I suppose we're at a quandary. We're certainly picking up extends awfully quick, but maybe not using the release function as quick as I would have liked. So it'll take some, like, maybe contemplation, I think, of what we should do. Maybe we should try out other releases and see if we can find a happy medium. But we'll see. We'll see. I have no problem sticking with, I believe it was the summer version, the summer release. Just it's done us good. So why fix it? The options are open for higher, riskier things. So that might be something to do in the future, but who knows? And there it is, the worst dodge ever. That's going to be it, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. We'll certainly play some more Touhou later.